Hi everyone, you must have heard words like easy questions, pick up low hanging fruits, etc. etc. You will often hear verbal faculty saying that in 24 out of 24 questions in CAT VRC section you can pick up at least 8 to 10 easy questions, and especially in reading comprehension, which is the most scoring section, scoring type of question. In that, you will, out of the 16 questions, you will find at least 8 questions which are easy or direct question, for which you will have to just read a paragraph maximum, maybe just 2 to 3 lines. Today in this class we are going to see how easy these questions really are. Like, are they really that easy to pick up? If they're that easy, then why, like, we all of us, like all the verbal faculties, keep giving you this gyan and these sessions, right? That this is how you should pick up direct questions. And if they're difficult, how exactly we can make it easy for all of us, right? For all the students. So today we are going to basically solve direct questions. I'm going to pick up some examples from past year questions as well, so that you know what you can expect in CAT 2024 students. But at the same time, the agenda of today's class is not just to solve questions or give you the answer, because you must have solved past year questions and you will have the answers and explanations and everything. The agenda is how exactly you will pick up those 8 to 10 questions, and how many questions can you expect in exam, these direct or easy questions, which are definitely less time consuming, but if they're easy or hard, that we will see, right? Okay. Now, before we really start, you need to develop some 4 to 5 skills to be good in reading comprehension, especially in these scoring questions, which are known as direct questions. See, I will definitely agree that direct questions are comparatively easier than other questions like primary purpose, inference question. But are they really that easy? Like our school days, like we'll read a question, we'll read some line and paragraph, and it will be a word match. Is it that easy? No. Right? We are giving CAT exam. CAT exam is not going to give you anything on platter. Even the easiest question will throw some challenge at you, and what kind of challenge it is, if you know the problem, you will be able to find the solution, isn't it, students? So tip number one is reading. You have to have daily reading habit to be very comfortable with the passage, to not get scared. A lot of time it's the negative mindset, the fear of the language of the passage, which makes us very uninterested in reading it or solving the question. We end up getting wrong answer than actually the questions are. Maybe the question of the questions will be easy, isn't it? So make sure it is a discipline, it is a habit, call it whatever you want, but you have to spend minimum 30 minutes to maximum 1 hour daily just to read whatever you like. But I will recommend, do not read novels or anything. Try to read editorials from newspaper, because that's the place majority of your passages are picked up from. I'm not against novels. I have heard a lot of verbal faculties recommending novels, or read whatever you want. That's okay if you hate reading or you're not at all into the habit of reading. So just to get started, read what you like, but that's not going to directly help you. Only editorial kind of language will help you. Tip number two, students, is remove options with keywords in other paragraphs. As in, for example, your question is, see, direct questions are from a certain paragraph in most cases. So, for example, this is your passage which has approximately 3 or 4 paragraphs, and your question is clearly from paragraph 2. It's written that in some keywords are there, so you know, okay, you have to read this paragraph. Now, option A has some keywords from first paragraph. Now, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to check it. Oh, is it written? Even if it is written, that's not what they're asking, so you have to remove it. Or option B has some keywords from the last paragraph, even if this information is exactly written in this way in the last paragraph, but that's not what they're asking. They're asking something from the paragraph too, so you have to stick to the location, right? Make sure you remove other option, eliminate option which has keywords or information from other paragraphs. Stick to the location. Very important. Tip number 3 is, right, as we just did, stick to the location. As in, once you read the question, find the location. See, one thing is sure, your most of the time your direct question will require you to read maximum 1 paragraph, or maybe just 1 or 2 lines. So basically, you just have to read 1 or 2 lines, or max a paragraph, generally, which is of 4 to 5 lines, nothing more than that. But how do you understand these lines, your reading ability? That's ultimately what CAT is checking you upon. So that now tip number 4 is fear of language. To avoid this fear of language, students, see, to avoid any kind of fear, you'll have to keep doing that. Understand this, isn't it? You have to keep reading the daily, the language which you get in cat exam, those difficult words, those complex sentences, academic language, boring language you can call it, but you have to practice it daily so that one day you don't even get bored of it, you're not scared of it, you just don't care. Like you read, you understand, you solve the question, you move on, right? That should be the mindset, and that generally happens when you keep practicing something. So I am also someone, when I took my very first class or first few classes, I used to feel very nervous with a lot of students sitting in front of me. I was almost the same age as them, but now when I do any class, even if there are hundreds of students, I'm not scared of the crowd. I'm not scared of crowd, at least, right? I'll think more on the content. Okay, how exactly in a better way I'll present my content. How will I make the class interesting? These are my concerns rather than how many people are sitting in front of me who is judging me, right? It's not anymore. Although I used to be a very shy and nervous kind of person, but with practice throughout the years, that thing is gone. So ultimately, to remove fear of anything, be it language, you have to keep doing it, that so that one day it doesn't affect you anymore. And tip number 5, students, which is the last tip before we start solving some examples, is meaning match. Just because these are easier questions, all of your teachers, including me, sometimes I sometimes call it that these are scoring question, easier question, does not mean they're very easy. Cat is giving you things on platter, right? That you read the question, you read the location in the paragraph, you did the word match, and then you got the answer. No, it will not work like this. Whatever you read in the paragraph, meaning match will work for you, not word match, students. So make sure what you have read in the paragraph, for example, this is the location, these 3 lines, right? Something similar in different words, though in different words but same meaning, right, will be your correct answer. Yep. Okay. All right. So now that we have learned these 5 tips, keep these 5 tips in mind. Also, while solving questions, you will learn few more things. How to navigate, right, through the correct answer. How to do process of elimination. All these things. So students, let's get started with our examples, questions, which include some easy, medium, hard questions, some past year questions, just to give you an entire panoramic idea, all like all kind of questions you can get in this category. And in cat 2024, at least you will get these questions for sure correct. That is something I'll ensure at the end of by the end of this class. Yes, let's get started, everyone. Now, first things first, students, you must be seeing this long passage with this question, and you must be thinking, oh, what difficult things are we going to do? Let me just go back, right, to what I was doing. So, do not worry, I'm going to show you how easily these questions can be done. And in case you find some of these questions difficult, do not worry, I'm going to give you techniques to make it easy for you, right? ठीक है, हम कैसे practice करेंगे? I'll tell you. Okay, so first, always see, you will not know in exam if the question is direct or indirect or passage based, but still it is expected in exam you're going to get one passage with 4 questions, right? One or two will be direct, one or two or will be indirect, one is passage based. So because majority of the questions will require some understanding rather than simply a word math, students, make sure you give 2 minutes to passage first and then only start solving the questions, right? So what you can do, just read the first few lines of every paragraph, last few lines, like that, get an idea, right? 2 minutes. Once you're done, then start reading the question. The examples of the Inuit and Aboriginal Australians are offered in the passage to show. So where are these words? Aboriginal Australians, Inuits, and everything. So see, finding the location now will take some time if you have not read the passage. But if you have read the passage once, finding the location for at least 3 questions out of 4 will not take a lot of time, isn't it? Hardly half a minute, 30 seconds. So when we read carefully, it's there somewhere in the second paragraph, the Inuit Who are Inuit? Basically, what is Inuit? People living in Arctic Circle. These people are known as Inuit. And then what is Aboriginal Australians? So Aboriginal Australia, that means this is my location, this is where I should read second paragraph, 4 to 5 lines, and then find my answer. Question is, these are the examples. So basically example 1, example 2, but the examples are offered. Examples are given to show what? Why are these examples there? That's the question. So understand the question. Do not just simply read and do a word match. Understand the question. Okay, these 2 points are examples. These are examples of what? To show what? Right, so whenever there is a point, students, first there will be a point. Okay, this is this, blah blah, and then example 1, example 2, isn't it? So these examples are to show this point, isn't it? Logically. Okay, let's read the second paragraph. The difference between the current economies of North and South Korea cannot be attributed to the modest environmental differences between them. Means difference between North and South Korea is not environmental. So I'll make a cross. It's not environmental. Then instead due entirely to the different government policies. So it's because of government policy, fine. At the opposite extreme, so that means on one side, if we see the difference between North Korea, South Korea, is because of government policies, and at the other extreme, right here, things are not because of government policies, is what we are saying first of all. All right. So what is the other extreme? The Inuit and other people living in north of Arctic Circle developed warm fur clothes but no agriculture. While people in equatorial lowland peoples, they never develop warm fur clothes but often did develop agriculture. The explanation straightforward is geographic. So why this is the case? Other rather than cultural historical quick. So there's no culture, there's no historical thing or anything like that. So how human across cultures can everything, right? This part will go away. Let's read further. What about Australians? Australia remained the sole continent occupied by the hunter-gatherers and with no indigenous farming or herding. The explanation here is biogeographic. Again, geography related. The Australian continent has no domesticable native species. They have no domestic species. Instead, they got it from exported, and now they are the like biggest exporter of sheep, wheat, grapes, etc., etc., which they brought from by overseas colonists, like that. Okay, so what is the example to show how things are happening here because of geographic or biogeographic reasons? That's what we understand. Now, based on that, let us solve this question. How environmental factors lead to comparatively diversity. This is not environmental, is what we are saying, right? Clearly given that this is not at all because of environment or government policies, right? See, they knew it and everything they developed. So culture or historical quirk or anything, it's not environment. So we will right. Option B, human resourcefulness across cultures in adapting to that how resourceful. Maybe Australians were resourceful, they got it exported. But what is the common point we are trying to convey through both the examples? Aboriginal Australians and Inuit, Arctic people. And geography is the reason, isn't it? Geography. So this option is narrow. This doesn't apply to both the examples. This will go away. Option C, how physical circumstances can dictate human behavior and culture. So what is physical circumstance? That is geography, isn't it? Like India is surrounded by oceans. Many other countries are not. India has these many mountains in the north or the south of area, we can say. So geography is another word for physical circumstances. So of course you will not get a word match, but you will get a meaning match. So you have to read very carefully, understand the location to get the correct answer. We'll keep this option for a while. That despite geographical isolation, traditional societies were self-sufficient. We don't know if these societies are self-sufficient and adaptive, isn't it? This is an extra information. So this also goes away. C is our correct answer. Yeah, so did we understand what is the point we have to pick up? Again, we had to just read 3 to 4 lines, but we had to pick up the right words and then see which option says the same thing, maybe in different words. Question number 2, students. The author of the passage mentions the Galbraiths, the affluent society. So where is this word, the affluent society, mentioned? If I see it's mentioned here, it might be mentioned somewhere else also. For example, the original affluent society, something like that, but mainly here. Now, what these lines are saying, see, whenever you have that, you find the words. You don't have to read more than 2 or 3 lines, right? So, maximum 2 to 3 lines you have to read. Depending, and in case they say a paragraph, it's a short paragraph of 4 to 5 lines you can read, but nothing more than that. So let's read till maybe maximum here. What exactly are they saying? With its titles not towards affluent society, economist Kenneth Galbraith famously skeptical portray of. That means this person is doubtful. Skeptical means doubtful. Doubtful of post-war prosperity and inequality, means that after war really things grew, things were better, people were treated equally, and dripping with new left contempt for consumerism. As in, like there was a lot of consumerism, so he didn't like that. The original affluent society brought this critical. So original means whose? Marshall Sahlins. See if you read the first 2 to 3 lines. So Sahlins brought this critical perspective to bear on the contemporary world. See, Sahlins also said the same thing of this contemporary world, that things were unequal. There was a lot of consumerism in the name of growth, etc., etc. So let's read the options. Which option says exactly the same thing written in first 3 lines, right? And we will choose it. What we are saying, that the affluent society, this Galbraith person, was negative in terms of prosperity, inequality, and consumerism after war. And the original of affluent society, this second book, which is written in the second line, first paragraph, there up the first paragraph, written by Salin, says the same thing. Okay, option. Contrast the materialistic nature of contemporary growth paths with the pacifist content of living. We don't know what pacifist, foragers, right? ये कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है what exactly are they saying. Does it say the same thing in different words? But what I know, foragers or whatever is written in the second paragraph. So whatever is written in option A is not giving me the answer, right? What does it mean? We don't know. So we will just remove it. Document the influence of Galbraith's cynical views. So his doubtful views, cynical views, so far so good. Views on modern consumerism, on Sahalin's analysis of, so how his work influenced the Sahalin's analysis. Is it influenced? We don't know. See, again, question mark. We just say both are saying the same thing. Sahalin in his original affluent society and this Galbraith in the affluent society. 2 books. They are both are against inequality, consumerism, etc., etc. Right? So, right? Maybe I'll just put a question mark. We don't know if it influenced or not. Show how Galbraith's theories refute. See how it refute Sahalin's thesis. See, it doesn't refute. Both are saying the same thing. Refute means to oppose. So both are saying the same thing. So I'll remove this. Show how Sahalin's views complement. Complement means are same as. Same as Galbraith's criticism of consumerism, inequality. Words, consumerism, inequality, these words are also there. So it's a word match. I can call it. At the same time, meaning match, right? It says both the views were complementing, as in same. So this checks your, of course, the correct answer. Also, this checks your vocabulary. If you don't know the meaning of the word complement here, you can be confused, isn't it? So meaning match. Just for few students who do not know the words, for them I am going to tell you. See, there are 2 words, just don't get confused for that reason. First word is, I'll write it here, compliment, PLI. Compliment means praise. To praise someone. Hey, you're looking good today. Hey, you're such a nice person. And second is compliment. Compliment means match, to match with. Right? Like here, Sahalin's views are matching with Galbraith. Or I can say these shoes will complement these clothes you're wearing. Right? You should wear the red color shoes rather than white. It will complement what you're wearing, your clothes, your dress, like that. So that will match with, right? They'll go with what you're wearing, like that. Okay, all right. Let's move to question number 3, students. Now, what we have learned so far from these 2 questions, that we have to stick to the location. We not only just read the location, We have to understand. We have to read between the lines. These are, students, examples from CAT past year questions. Right? I am not sure. See, depending on your practice, some of you may be finding these questions easier. Some others may be finding these questions difficult, depending on the practice. But these are comparatively scoring questions, students. So if these are something difficult for you, don't feel nervous or don't feel bad, but at least get the reality check. There are still 3 months to go, and if you work on at least these kind of questions, for which you have to just read 3 to 4 lines, you can get at least 8 questions correct. You get such kind 8 questions in every slot, right? And then some from maybe verbal ability and everything. And again, of course, depending on your hard work, you will get the percentile you deserve, right? I'm not going to tell you how in last 70 days, 75 days you're going to get a 99 percentile, but getting a 90 percentile is still doable in last 3 months if you do things smartly. Getting a 99, of course, right, it takes a lot of hard work. Okay. Question number 3. The author sees the rise of Netflix in Europe as. So how the Netflix and everything. See, Netflix, Europe, all these words are written here. So I'll read around here. Now, what they're saying, Netflix has about 100 productions underway in Europe, which is more than big public broadcasters in France and Germany. Oh, so Netflix has 100 productions and 100 movies or so. 100 movies, series are making in Europe, which is more than big public broadcasters. And so even France or Germany does not have, even the biggest directors, producers don't make so many movies and series, which is just happening in Europe through Netflix. Okay, so that's what we are saying in next line. Not everything works across borders, as in what works, the kind of movies which works in India may not work in other country, or what works in those countries may not work in India, right? Comedy sometimes struggles, like we may not understand some kind of comedy or some kind of dialogues. Whodunits, bloodthirsty maelstorms between arch Romans and uppity tribesmen have a more universal appeal. But we are seeing these kind of serials, I don't know which are these, but they have universal, as in everybody likes them, like Friends. Right? Friends is a series which everyone likes, no matter whichever country, right, you're from. Some do it better than others. Barbarians aside, German television is not always built for. So we are saying that Netflix original content was American. Now the figure is half, and like in Europe they're making so many, so they basically, not everything works, but these series are working. Not everything works, but Netflix is doing it, right? Netflix is still dominating, the broadcasters are still dominating, and right, etc. So basically what we are saying, that rise of Netflix in Europe is a unifying force, as in it's connecting everyone from whichever country, everybody is watching. A looming cultural threat, as in increasing cultural threat, nothing like that we have read. If we read carefully, even slightly 2 more extra lines above or in third paragraph, we don't know if it is a cultural threat or not. Filling an entertainment gap, maybe, I'll put a question mark. An economic threat, no, nothing like economic threat is mentioned. Now between A and C, when you read this line, not everything works across borders, but they have more universal appeal. So more universal appeal means it connects everyone, like every country, rather than just entertainment gap, that there was some more entertainment needed, people needed more time pass, so Netflix is taking care of that, right? That way they are not writing. Question number 4, students. According to romantics, aesthetics. So first of all, who are romantics? Romantic doesn't mean like romantic movie. Romantics is getting into the philosophy, thought process of something. For example, we can talk about, for example, how the technology is affecting our life, right? Like that. So you will have your own thought, point of view. I'll have my own thought. All of us will have a discussion. So that is also known as a romantic discussion, as in uh, being fanciful or just philosophizing, philosophical discussion on certain topics. Aesthetics is all about beauty looks of something. Looks, as in, like if I decorate this room aesthetically, that means it's not just all the good showpieces are kept, but they're kept properly as well, very well organized, and like that is aesthetics. Okay, so first we need to know the meaning of the words. Now let's see, according to romantics, what do they think about aesthetics. So aesthetics word I see here, Let's read. The more specific task of characterizing romantic aesthetics adds to these difficulties an air of paradox. Conventionally, aesthetics refers to a theory concerning beauty and art, or the branch of philosophy that studies these topics. However, many of the romantics rejected the identification of aesthetics with a circumscribed domain of human life that is separate from practical and theoretical domains. Theoretical as in aesthetics is not just for artists and painters, for normal people like us also. When we decorate our house, we keep aesthetics in mind. कि क्या कहाँ अच्छा लगेगा, what will look good in which corner, isn't it? That's what we are saying. So basically, we are saying romantics rejected the idea that it's not as a limited domain only for artists. It's for normal people as well, for practical, theoretical domains, for regular as well. Okay. Now, based on that, let us read the options. So, aesthetic is widely considered to be irrelevant. No, it is relevant to human existence. If you understand these lines, this is option A says opposite to what we just read. Option B permeates all aspects of human life, philosophical, mundane. Yes, correct. Yeah. Option C should be confined to a specific domain. Should we know? They are rejecting it. Romantics are rejecting that circumscribed is specific to a domain. So opposite to what we just read is primarily the concern of philosophers and artists rather than of ordinary people. So basically it's just for artists, not for ordinary. Again opposite, isn't it? If we have understood that line, getting option B is not that difficult. But ultimately it all comes down to understand those just 2 or 3 lines. That's it. Correct? Okay. Now students, since we have solved 4 questions, of course there are more to go. What? Because they're lengthy passages, I'm reading simultaneously, explaining, there can be a little confusion. I understand because you're not reading it on your own first. So what you can do is from the next question, question number 5th, just pause for a while, try to solve the question on your own. Now that you know, okay, I have to read the question, pick up the keywords, read those 2 to 3 lines and then answer the question, isn't it? We know the drill now. So try to solve it within 2 minutes on your own. You'll have some 100 seconds or 120 seconds that, and after that listen to the explanation so that okay, you'll be sure, or we just check the answer. If it is correct, matches, move on, finish this class early, fast, and if it is wrong, then listen to the explanation how I have solved it. Okay. Now question number 5. The author refers to the ancient Greek philosophers too. So where are ancient Greek philosophers? Find it quickly students. Where are Greek philosophers written? Ancient Greek philosophers word. Yeah. This last paragraph. Correct. Now, what they are saying, ancient Greek philosophers, let's just read everything. The role of moral, ethical education promoting rational behavior is also underexplored, as in how education helps in, especially ethical education, helps in making us rational, logical, intelligent. Means if a person is ethical, does that mean the person is intelligent as well? We don't know. Pinker recognizes that rationality is not just a cognitive virtue but a moral one. But this profoundly important point, once subtly explored by Greek philosophers like Plato, Aristotle, doesn't really get developed. But we are saying even these philosophers have not developed this idea that someone who is rational is also moral. If you're a moral person, good person, you'll also be logical, intelligent person. These philosophers have not developed it or have not worked on it. This is a shame since possessing the right sort of moral character is arguably a precondition for using rationality in Beneath. So we are saying this is a shame as in like really unfortunate that we know that if you're a moral person also, intelligent person also, it is going to benefit you, right? In many ways, logicality as in logic plus right moral sense is a precondition for that, but these philosophers have not worked on it, right? So that's what we are saying. So let's read the option. That means, so he is referring to ancient Greek philosophers for what reason? For revealing gaps in Pinker's discussion of the importance of ethical consideration, rational. That is, are ethics, morals necessary for rational behavior, for logical behavior? Something like that we are talking. So I'll keep this. Option A indicate the various similarities between their thinking and Pinker's conclusion. There are no similarities, isn't it? It's about that these are something which are not, doesn't really get developed, right? They did not tell us, right? That. So we don't know if they're similar or not. Show how dreams and visions have for centuries influenced. We don't know dreams, visions influenced or not. That's not anything like that is mentioned in location, in this location. It might be mentioned in other paragraph, like dreams and vision in the previous paragraph, but you have to stick to the location. The question is from the last paragraph. Only read the last paragraph and see which option is closest in terms of information. Highlight the influence of their thinking on the development of, no, not their influence, clearly the gaps that they did not work on it. That is one gap in their theory, in their work, in their books. Correct? So option B is the correct answer. Now, question number 6, students. Now see, so far if you can see, I've told you that this is from CAT 2022, CAT 2023, slot 1, 2, 3, whichever. And in these 5 questions, you must have observed that clearly keywords are mentioned in the question. Clearly you have to find certain 2 or 3 lines, read them, understand them, and then find a meaning match, not a word match. At the same time, second learning so far is eliminate option which has words from other paragraphs. Correct? Okay, so these 2 things. In order to confirm their abnormal status, many of the undead were often accorded attributes which defied the natural order of things. So where are these things written? Third paragraph, I guess. Yes. So what we are saying? See, just to understand the question better, maybe you can just quickly read the passage, because in exam, even the easy question now that you see needs some understanding, needs some careful reading. So if your reading is weak, you're not regularly reading it, just solving the reading comprehension, you're going to still face some challenge. So what I'll suggest is, I've done some prep work before the class, of course, right? I've gone through the passages once, I've gone through the question once, right? That if 2 options can be confusing, I explain those 2 like that. So what I'll suggest is quickly just skim the passage if you want, get an idea of what we are talking about, and then read that location. It will be easier for you to solve. In exam, you can't do that. That without reading the passage, we are just reading the 4 lines. You have to still give 2 minutes to overall passage and then start solving questions, be it direct, indirect, primary purpose, whatever, right? Okay. In order to confirm, so let's read this line. The question is expressive. Which of the following best expresses a claim made in this, as in what they're trying to claim here, what they're trying to say here. Let's read. In order to confirm their abnormal status, whose abnormal status? We are talking about here, if we read the previous line, they became they. Who are they? Isn't it? These may be, right? So if we read the first, these eerie creatures, not quite alive, some dead, right? Basically ghosts. If you read first 3 to 4 lines, you will know we are talking about ghosts. Who all are scared of ghosts? I am very scared. I cannot watch horror movies. So yeah, coming back to the topic, undead were often accorded attributes. So generally we attributes qualities. We give qualities to ghosts, that they wear white clothes, they have white hair, long white hair, or they have long nails, something which defied the natural order of things, and they will not like define them or give them attributes which are features which are normal, and the ability to influence human minds across a distance. And we can say they can influence our mind, right? They will come up, they will enter the body, and then they will make us do, right, anything. So such powers described as supernatural only an added dimension to the terror that humans felt regarding them. As in, we say all these things just to add more fear. We any which ways are scared of ghosts. And then when people talk like this, when movies show them the certain way, we get more scared. Like, oh God, the same ghost will come. Right? Like that. So we just accord. We just, to give them this abnormal status that ghosts are not normal people, first of all, and they are much more scary, etc., etc. We just say these weird things about them. And that is the claim they're trying to say. If you want, you can just read this line on your own, as well as the passage. Very interesting, students. So let us read the options. Um, The undead are deified. See, to deify, deities are goddesses, right? Deities are female gods. We are not deifying them, that ghosts are equal to gods, like that. They have divine attributes. They are the best. We should be like them. Nothing. We are saying we are just trying to increase the terror, isn't it? We give them abnormal status. So no, absolutely opposite and very positive. This paragraph says negative about ghosts. According to undead and abnormal status to reject the natural order of things. So according to undead, as in according to ghosts, and abnormal status, when we give them abnormal status, that ghosts are weird, right? They're weirdos. So we are trying to just reject the natural order of things. Like we are not accepting that's how ghosts are. We should accept them the way they are. No, it's not about that. We are saying we give them attributes. They are often accorded attributes. As in, we don't know if they wear white clothes, right? That chudels wear white sarees, but we show that in movie, isn't it? So we give them attributes. They are like that or not, that we do not know, right? Like that. So human beings conceptualize the undead as possessed. Yes, so we conceptualize undead or ghost as abnormal, that they have abnormal features. They are right. They have sharp teeth, sharp something, right? Like that. They can enter someone's body, they are evil, all these things. So that's what we are trying to, these lines are trying to claim. The natural attributes of the undead are rendered abnormal by changing their status. So we are not changing, we are giving them abnormal status by giving them these attributes. Right, we are not changing as such. We were already scared pehle bhi, Rabi, now we are getting more and more scared because movies are making them scarier and scarier, right? इससे मुझे नन याद आ गई, द मूवी नन, राइट, वेरी स्कैरी. Which is your favorite horror movie? I would say mine is Bollywood movie 1920, right? That one. All right. Which one of the following statements best reflects the main argument of the fourth paragraph of the passage? So, fourth paragraph is towards the end, and then we are trying to say which one, sorry, towards the end, this very lengthy paragraph. And what is the main argument? See, if I have to just figure out the main argument, students, of the last paragraph, I'll read first few lines, maybe first these many lines, and last few lines. I'd like that. And then see, so generally main argument, main idea requires that. I'm going to keep one more class on just to find main idea. If you get the question of main idea, how would you find that with technique so that you can solve that question within 2 minutes. But for now, let us read this. As an environment, technology shaped their inhabitants. So technology shaped the inhabitants. For example, right now, technology, what kind of technology are we using? Most of the time, social media. So it's making us lazy, distracted. We are always busy on phone. We don't even know what should we do in the entire day. What's really important for our life. To reach our goal next year, what all things we should do today. Right? We are busy with the reels. So technologies shape our habits, right, our lifestyle. In this respect, they are comparable to laws and customs. So even laws and customs are like this, right? If the law is saying that you should not go out, you should just be at home, there's a lot of crime, like outside, something like, so then your personality, your lifestyle will be like that. Customs will be, if your customs are, so basically all these things are same, so they are comparable. Comparable means all three are same. Each of these institutions, we call them institutions, can be said to represent those who live under their sway through privileging certain dimensions of their human nature. Laws of property represent the interest in, so laws represent interest in ownership and control, right? Customs such as parental authority represent, custom as in every parent will take care of the children, especially when they're school. So interest of childhood and safety, growth, all these things. Again, some kind of control. Automobile is technology. It represents its users, and so far they are interested in mobility, right? They want to do something. So human nature, control, these things represent that. Let's read the last line. We can perhaps admit a less romantic conception in which those dimensions of human nature recognized by society are also granted theoretical legitimacy, right? Like that. Okay. So basically, we're saying these three things are same. Everything is kind of related to human nature, laws, custom, technology, etc. etc. Let us read the options. I think option B says exactly the same thing very, very directly. Uh, Technology, laws, customs are not unlike. So negative means positive. So they are like. I'll make it. They are like each other if considered as institutions. That's what first two lines are saying. So very direct. I think this question looked difficult, but it was not. Other options, technology, laws, customs are comparable but dissimilar. No, if they're comparable means they are similar, so because of this word it goes away. Automobiles represent the interest in mobility, yes, but the question is overall argument kya? Overall argument is not just about automobiles, very narrow. Overall argument is about automobile, which is technology, law, custom, everything, human nature, not just automobiles. So this thing is fine, but it's narrow. The overall main argument of the paragraph is not this. Correct? Is not just this. I mean, technological environments privilege certain dimensions of human nature as effective as, see, technological environment do not show certain as laws and customs. I think these three things are same. Understand? See, cat checks the language a lot. Do you understand a statement? If you do you understand one reading, one go? Or do you have to read it twice, thrice to understand what exactly is this saying? Right? What exactly are they trying to say? So your reading has to be very, very strong. Just to solve the questions in time, whether right or wrong, that's secondary. Just to solve the question on time. Otherwise, it will take so much time in understanding the passage, read the question, understanding options. You spend 2 minutes in just understanding, and then you start solving. Okay, this is right, maybe this is wrong, maybe. So accuracy is later. First, good reading habit, understanding each and every line carefully, which takes daily reading habit. There's no other option, students. Okay. Question number 8. In the first paragraph of the passage, what are the two characterizations that are seen as overlapping but not congruent? So I see they overlap but not congruent. First paragraph, second line. Yeah. So what is overlapping but not congruent? Let's read, right, these two lines or so. We begin with the emergence of the philosophy of the social sciences as an arena of thought and as a set of social institutions. So philosophy is what? First of all, what we think, how our thought process, that is philosophy. I think this thing is good, you think this thing is bad, that is one thing. And second is set of social institution, basically how photosynthesis happens. For that, all of us will think the same thing. There is one fixed process of photosynthesis, or how the sun rises. Same answer. It's not like different thought process, right? So instead of social institution, what are academic institutions, college, school teachers, that. Two characterizations overlap but are not congruent. Means they are similar but not exactly same. They're similar but not congruent, like exactly same. Academic disciplines as an academic subjects are social institutions. So academically, anything is a social institution, but it's different from the thought process and all. So my view is that institutions are all those social entities that organize action. They link acting individuals into social structures. And social institution is what? Which makes you act on something. Means in college, you will do theory, you'll do practical as well, right? You'll apply that thing you're learning. So that is done through academic discipline, social institutions, like that. Something just similar. Let's read the options. Academic disciplines and institutions. So these are quite similar but not exactly same, right? So this is a correct answer. The philosophy, see, I get this often, the philosophy of social sciences and a set of social norms. We are saying we begin the emergence of philosophy of the social science. And this subject start with these two things: arena of thought and set of social. Now, in set of social institutions, also the two characterization which overlap but are not congruent are academic disciplines, social institutions, isn't it? An arena of thought in academic disciplines. See, this is a question mark. I'll put individuals and social structures. No, this goes. So between B and C, if you have to carefully choose what we are saying, what these two things are different. So we can, now the two characterizations. With two characterization, these two we are saying Now here we are saying academic disciplines are social. When here we are talking social institute, a set of. So in these set, academic discipline and social institute. Are you getting this? These two things are similar. Like academic discipline is a subset of social institution, but not exactly same. Like Delhi is part of India, but Delhi is not India. Mumbai is part of India. So there's set of social institution in which academic discipline is one of the things which is part of this similar but not exactly same thing. Just one part of it. Are you getting this? So B will be correct. Option C will be wrong. This is a very confusing question for a lot of students, especially between B and C. I hope you understood this. Question number 9. Think beyond all the qualification that might trail after this bold statement. See, bold statement doesn't just say something plain. There may be some controversy, but just say it. For example, if I say, no matter how much I work hard, only 5 to 10% of the students, right, who are going to give the exam are going to get IIMs. I mean, this is a fact, right? If somebody will not like it, this is a fact. Maximum 10% people or students will get a good college. Right? This is a fact, no matter what we do. So this is a bold statement, a plain statement which may create agreement, disagreement, but right, it's there. Like that's the statement. So think beyond all the qualifiers. As in how people will qualify the statement. No, this is not true. Yeah, this is true, but there's more to it. All these things. So in the context of the passage, what is the author's trying to communicate in this quoted extract? What exactly is he trying to say? So humans today make music. That's what he said, that we make the music. Now we make the music or not, we don't know. Think beyond all the qualifications that might trail after this bold statement. As in this plain nothing, that only certain humans make music. That we think only great musicians, talented people make music. That extensive, that maybe training is involved. Many societies distinguish musical specialties from non-musicians. All these things people will say, but whatever, like no, is it these qualification, whatever their local merit, are moot, are like as in nothing in the face of overt truth that making music, considered from a cognitive and psychological vantage, the province of all those who perceive and experience what is made. As in, if we can experience music, we can make music. No matter how much you argue, music is for talented people, needs training, needs something skill, whatever. Humans today make music, right? That's all. Any human can make music. This is a plain statement. Now start, start arguing me, but this is the truth. Okay, so what exactly is he trying to say? He is trying to say that although there may be some gaps in what we are saying, gaps, there may be some more to this statement, as it's not like this is enough, but this in itself is true as well. This is true, and there can be more truth we can add to it, like that. But it's not a false statement. Right. I'm going to tell you a very good fun fact after this question. Some of you might have heard it or know it, but I'll still tell you. A bold statement is one that is trailed by a series of qualifying means a plain statement, bold statement is that इसमें बहुत सारे gaps are clarification. He's not giving any clarification. He's saying this is my plain statement. Humans today make music. Like it or don't like it. Thinking beyond qualifications allow us to give free rein to musical expressions. Nothing like that is mentioned, right? A bold statement is one that requires no qualification. It doesn't need any debate. A bold statement is true. No. A bold statement, basically the statement is very plain. You can add more to it, right? You can add more truth to it, facts to it. But in itself also it's not false. It's true, essentially true. That's what it means. So which is option B. Now students, from music, I remembered, मुझे याद आया. Have you heard this name, Beethoven? Beethoven. So he was one of the greatest music composers, right? Very good music. If you'll hear his music on YouTube, there will be some music for sure. You'll really like it. Like you will not say, this is boring or you'll really like it. But do you know he was deaf? Right? He never heard music. He never, like at all, deaf by birth. So what does that tell us? That he's very talented? Of course he is, but how was he making music if he can't hear music? How does he know? That means music is nothing to do with senses. Music is equivalent to maths. Everything is maths, isn't it? So music is maths. Like, those markings, if you see people play piano and they read something, which, all of us can't read those music language. Through that, he used to make equations. play his music instruments like that, piano and all, and then the music jo banta tha, music comes out from those piano will be very very good, like that. So will be world famous. That means music is equals to maths. You have to make equation, you have to understand the logic, how the tools are, and then that's it. So similarly, I'm going through this book. It's like bass Escher, so where three people are working together: a musician, an artist, a painter, and a scientist. And essentially, that book shows how these three things are not different. These three fields are not different. These are exactly the same thing: music, painting, and research. Science. He's a scientist of physics. So these three things are exactly, they are overlapping, right? So that. So I'll recommend that book. Where is it? It's Escher and Bash, Escher, right? That. So if you just write on Google, you'll find it. Okay, now question number 10, students. Let's solve it. Let's read the question first. The author claims that part of this bionic convergence is a matter of words. Which one of the following statements best expresses the point being made by the author? So let's read where are these words written. So part of last paragraph. Have you noticed this, students? See, I have taken questions from last two past year questions, 22 and 23, and majority, not all of course, but majority of the questions, direct question we have solved so far, either from the first or last paragraph, right? If you just notice, this is something I just noticed while explaining the location. So part of this bionic convergence is a matter of words. The meaning of mechanical and life are both stretching until all complicated things can be perceived as machines, and all self-sustaining machines can be perceived as alive. That means we as humans have to become mechanical, right? Have to become machine-like in order to become disciplined, achieve something, isn't it? Whereas technology may AI is coming, and internal AI is coming, and it is becoming alive. So anything which is non-living becoming living, living should become mechanical. What's happening? Yet beyond semantics, beyond just the meaning of words, what is living, non-living, if we just simply see the things how they are these days, human made things are behaving more lifelike, right? Like robots and etc. technology, life is becoming more engineered. We are living our life according to technologies available to us, isn't it? Not using our own brain, or what people are saying on YouTube. Okay, this sir is saying that, let's follow it. This ma'am is saying this, let's follow. We have to use our own brain as well. The apparent wheel between the organic and the manufactured has crumpled to reveal the two really are have always been one being. So basically everything is mixing, is what we are saying. Living, non-living, that. Now question number 10th. The author claims that part of this, So question number 10th, what he's trying to say, that mechanical and life were earlier seen as opposite in meaning, but the difference between two is clearly being blurred, as in the same. See, it's actually the same. Last option, option D. Correct. If you read these last few lines, option D is exactly the meaning match. Mechanical live words from different logical systems and are therefore fundamentally in. See, they may be different earlier, but now they are same. So no. A bionic convergence indicates the meeting ground of genetic engineering and artificial intelligence. See, these are the examples, but nothing about artificial intelligence is mentioned in these lines, isn't it? That this is an extra information. I gave also this example, but it's not mentioned there if you read carefully. So no, bios and technos are both convergent forms of logic, but they generate meanings about the world that are mutually explained. Both are different, but here we are saying both are same as one being. We are clearly saying one. So one means the difference between them is blurring. Option D. They are not like exclusive, as in different. If something is mutually exclusive, means something is very very different. Okay, question number 11, students. This book review argues that according to Rappaport, tea is unlike other morality products because it. So why is tea is not different from other morality products? Let's read. So where is this morality, marketing, tea and all these things are mentioned? See, okay. Commodity histories are now themselves commodities. Recent work investigation, cotton, salt, corn, sugar, chocolate, paper, milk, all these are good moral. Paper is necessary for studies, milk is necessary, salt, sugar, all this cotton, right? But now morality product is now commodity as well, applied to food. Yet tea is, according Rappaport makes it clear, a world apart, as in different. Why it is different? Now we'll get the answer in next few lines, students. An astonishing success story in which tea market is not only succeed in conveying a sense of moral elevation to the consumers, but also arguably did advance the cause of civilization community. But also that it's good for society, civilization, community, team building, that we can have a discussion over tea like that. So I have been offered tea at British Garden Party, this campfire, Turkish carpet shop, Japanese. So wherever I go to a shop, a party, a campfire, everywhere I get name a few settings, just to name a few, like just for a few examples. But he gets offered tea everywhere he goes. In case each the offering was more of an idea of friendship, community, respect. So that's why people offer tea. If you go to a mall, go to a jewelry shop, go to wherever, to guest house, it's out of respect, friendship. Okay, let's talk, or I'll offer you something to drink or eat, like that. So in each case, the idea then created a reality. It's not stretched to say, it's not a lot, like over to say, that tea marketers have advanced the particular noble cause of human dialogue, like human friendship, right? That we are saying in society, that friendship we are talking about. So how tea is different from other products like chocolate, milk, paper, salt, sugar, cotton, etc., etc. Um, Okay, let's read the options. Appeal to a universal group and not just to a niche means it appeals to everyone. Maybe had an actual beneficial effect on social interaction societies, on social interaction, friendship. So B is much better than A for now. Was actively encouraged by interest groups in the government. Maybe, but that's not what is mentioned here. Right? It might be mentioned in some previous paragraph. Government also helped them promote tea. Was marketed by a wide range of interest groups. Yes, maybe it is marketed well, but why it is? What is the morality? How it is different from other morality products? Means basically, if paper is for education, for example, like that. So cotton is for like clothing and everything. Similarly, tea is more for society, community building, friendship. So that way it's different, like that. That so that interaction, society, these words are important to tell its morality. How tea is good for morality. As a morality product, I mean. Question number 12, students. Following from the passage, which one of the following may be seen as a characteristic of a utopian society? What is utopia, first of all? So, utopia is a place which is perfect, right? Like everything is perfect there, no problem. But dystopia is like hell. So, utopia is like heaven, not heaven, but is a place where everything is perfect, developed, all technology is there, people are living comfortable. Like dystopia means like a destruction and a lot of problems. So let's read utopia. Utopia, I word in first paragraph I see here. So for modern readers, however, utopia appears to rely upon relentless transparency. So in utopia, there will be a lot of transparency. For example, any developed country, right? There are so many cameras. Every person's data will be with the government. So that is transparency. The repression of variety, the curtailment of privacy, as in privacy will not be there in utopia, of course. Utopia provides, but it provides security. If like there'll be no transparency, no privacy, government will know everything about everyone, but in return it will give security. At what price? Then that is of course different, right? So what we are saying, that what is a characteristic of a utopian society, that maybe it's transparent, but then it's secure. Correct. So institutional surveillance, as an institutional government survey, government surveillance on every individual to ensure his or her security and welfare. That we can say from this, yes. Society without any laws is utopia, that no laws, kill everyone, right? Like that. So no. Society with some laws, it will have transparency, no privacy and all. The government will know about everyone, but then it will give you security. Society where public power is earned through merit, public power, nothing like that is mentioned. The regulation of homogeneity through promoting competitive. See, of course, homogeneity means repression of variety. Like everybody will live the same, one rule for everyone, same rule. It's not like For rich people, different rule. Generally, in utopia, good countries, that's the case. But by promoting comparative heterogeneity, that okay, there should be some class difference as well. And nothing like that is mentioned, isn't it? So option B will be correct. Next question. We cannot catch a glimpse. Let's understand the question really well. This is slightly difficult question, students. We cannot catch a glimpse of things in themselves around the corner of our eye. So around the corner means side se kuch dekhna, samajhna. For example, if I talk about a particular painting which you don't understand art, for example, you don't understand paintings, how to judge paintings, which painting is better, which painting will be expensive, why this painting is not expensive. Let's say you don't know and I know, for example. So even though you're seeing something from the corner of it. This is called seeing something from the corner, means you have seen it but you don't understand it. So we cannot catch a glimpse of things in themselves, so we'll still not understand. We cannot form an idea of reality that floats above the process of our conceiving it. As in, if we have not even thought about something, even though people will show us, explain it, we may not be able to understand it. For example, if I teach this class to someone, to a child in third standard, fourth standard, will he or she be able to understand this well? No, not possible. So they're seeing it, they're listening, they're trying their best, very, like, let's say very obedient students, but will they still understand? Very difficult, right? Not easily possible for them. So just because we see something from the corner of our eyes, just we see something, doesn't mean we can understand it. The thing will just float above the processes of our conception, right? Nahi samajh aayega, like that. So let's read, where is it written? I think this is written somewhere in the second paragraph. Yes, we cannot see. For the skeptic will note, since reality under the conception of it is outside our ken as in outside our bubble, for example, we cannot catch a glimpse of things in themselves around the corner of our own eyes. We cannot form an idea of reality that floats above the process of our conceiving it. We have no way to compare our mental representation with things as they are in themselves, and therefore no way to determine whether they are correct or incorrect. So according to me, maybe something is correct, but my opinion is not like everyone's opinion. So I will say this is correct, but maybe you will say this is not correct. So we can perceive things based on our understanding, our maturity level, right? And whatever we understand wrong and right doesn't mean everyone's right. It is right for me, doesn't mean everyone will find it right, like that. That's what we are trying to say. So again, we have to just read 2 to 3 lines, but understanding these lines are more important than just reading them. Our knowledge of reality cannot be merged with our process of conceiving it, right? That is something we understand, that what I know of reality and how I conceive the reality. So understand these two things can be different. Something like that is definitely mentioned. So this is something I'll keep. I'll put a question mark. If the reality of things is independent of, or yes, if the reality is different or independent of my perception, right? I have been told, for example, since childhood that lying is very, very wrong. If somebody lies, you just don't talk to them. But as an adult, growing person, I realize maybe some people lie for good reasons as well, right? To help someone. That is something I saw. But then if some reality is independent of my perception, I think differently and something is happening. Logically, we cannot perceive. Logically, we cannot understand the situation, understand the person, right? No matter what we think. This is much more closer to what we have read compared to option A. So option A I'll remove. If the reality of things is independent of our eyesight, it's not about eyesight, it's about understanding something. It's not I saw something, I saw red, but you are seeing the same thing as blue. Right? It's not eyesight. So how we perceive things. Today, I'll scold some of you that you guys are not working hard. Some people will take it as a motivation that yes, let's understand our reality. This is what she is saying, right? And let me increase my hard work. Some people may get offended, isn't it? So how we perceive things is independent, right? I'm going to perceive things based on my perception. That is right or wrong, right? That's different. Our knowledge of reality floats above our subjective perception. Subject is in personal opinion. Right? So our knowledge of reality is above our personal perception, of course, but very narrow. It doesn't cover everything or the main point, which option B covers too. So I hope these 13 questions really helped you identifying 3 to 4 things. First point, that we have to stick to the location. Jahan se question pucha hai, just read that part. Forget options which have words from different paragraphs if you have read the whole passage. Second point, meaning match. There's nothing like word match. These questions are comparatively easy, doesn't mean they are the easiest and you will just solve them within seconds. They'll still take 1 or 1.5 minutes to understand the question, read and understand the question, find the location, do a meaning match. Still some 1.5 to 2 minutes. But still, because the answer is written directly, so you can find the answer and solve them. So they're that way they are scoring compared to indirect question where the answer is not even given directly, or maybe you have to go through the whole passage. It takes a lot of time, like all of the following are true except. Now, option A is written in first paragraph, B is written in last paragraph, C is written in some other paragraph, right? So it takes a lot of time, these questions. So these questions are less time consuming, but you still need practice, students. If you have found these questions, I would say easier, great, your practice is going very well. But if you found these questions difficult, although others may call it easy, don't worry, you have 3 months. These questions will not take a lot of time if you solve approximately, I would say, 2 passages a day. Make sure you're not overdoing it, students. I've seen some of my students solving 5 to 7 passages a day as if hard work equals to great results. No, maybe just solve 2 passages, but analyze them, where you're going wrong, how you're reading wrong, right? Why your process of elimination is not working, right? What you were thinking when you're down to 2 options, why you always ending up choosing wrong option? Are you in a hurry? Are you reading I would say carelessly, and that's why you're choosing wrong option? Or can you wait for maybe half a minute more, read the location again, and then choose the right option? Isn't it? All these things. So analysis is more important. If you just solve say 200 questions in next 3 months, but analyze them really well, you will see more improvement than solving some 500 questions and not going back to any question, why you got that wrong or why you got that correct. It's not going to help you. And same with the mocks as well. Make sure you don't overdo mocks. I've seen students taking 50 mocks, not getting any idea where they're going wrong. I have students just taking 10 mocks, 10 to 12 mocks, and getting a great percentile in exam, right? Because they analyzed. They took just 1 mock in a week, 1 mock in 10 days. But they analyzed, they prepared those topics which they got wrong, then took another mock. So they like saw this slow gradual improvement. And some people just taking daily mocks, as if just taking daily mocks, putting that effort is going to result into 99 percentile, right? Only a growth mindset will result into 99 percentile. Simple hard work without using brains is not going to result into a 99 percentile. All right, so this is our assignment. I'm going to give you some 5 questions I think I have here. So question number 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You can write your answers in the description box. However, I'm going to share the answer key PDF plus answer key and explanations in my Telegram group, and Telegram group link is in the description. So I'm not going to share anything in the description. I'm going to share. I'm not going to share the answers in description. I'm going to share the group link. So you'll find all the files in my group, right? So make sure once you solve it, you can write your answers in the comment box. I can check it. But if you want to check the explanations of all these homework assignment question, you'll have to join group. And thank you everyone for joining. If you liked this session, make sure you like, share and subscribe with all of your friends. And if not, that's absolutely okay. You can just give me the feedback, what all kind of topics you want to see, how exactly you want me to take classes, anything, everything, right? What all you think will be right or will be perfect for your preparation, because my goal is just to help you and make verbal easier for you. So that is it, students. I'll see you tomorrow at same time with another topic. See you soon. Bye bye. Thank you for watching this session.